Rainy day here in North Idaho, and guys, we are working on that drain that we put in behind the house about 2 months ago now, and in typical, Michael Lorden fashion, I've procrastinated it to when it's a terrible day outside. So we're digging in drains today. This is where we're at, guys. We have this ditch dug all the way to the edge over here. And then, in that last video that you saw, we dug this culvert in, connected to a drain behind that big mound over there. So we're gonna bury up that culvert. We had to be really careful right here because that is part of our electrical system. Our main 200 amp service runs right underground and connects into that right there. But we have an extra, I believe that is 100 amp that we use temporary over here when we were, building our whole shop house here. So we know that the other wires were really close to these wires. We just had to pay attention, but it doesn't seem like we hit them. Luckily for Liz and I, when we installed this whole electrical system, we're grid tied. There's some power lines just behind us there. I put the main 200 amp breaker over there, basically on the power pole where the meter is. So I'm able to shut off all of the power going to the house, which was nice. It makes it really safe when we're digging around these lines. We can just go back, flip that panel, and we have no electricity going to the house whatsoever. So it's kind of a nice feature to have. Back working on this drain project this morning, guys. Hopefully finishing it up. We got the ditch all dug. I got this filter fabric right here. So we're gonna lay this in the bottom of the ditch. Let me get you guys up to speed on kind of where we're at. So we have the rock dry well on the other side of this with this culvert connected to it. And what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna run this 4-inch French drain from where the culvert ends all the way through this ditch and send it over that side. I think we talked about how this is, one of our original power sources, which no longer is in use. So we'll use one of these little stub boxes to stub that up right next to the drain. And what I am doing this morning is I was hoping to dig some of this dirt out. You saw, in the previous portion of this video, it was pouring rain. So this system was working. There was water running through this ditch. So it filled it up with just a little bit of this silt soil. I wanted to dig that out, but it's so cold. The ground's all frozen. So I'm really hoping that it's thawed by the time I get back. Should be pretty quick. Roll down this whole ditch. Drop some pipe in there. Fill it up with rock. Wrap the filter fabric over the rock. And then hopefully give it like one little top coat of rock as well. So let's head to town. All right, little update for you guys. Kind of a turn in events here. So ran to town, picked up the trailer from the rental place, a dump trailer, went to Ready Mix where the rock normally is. Of course, they have no rock. Returned the dump trailer immediately. Nobody has drain rock in my area. The best, I guess, option is what I've come up with is to bring the excavator down to the bottom, scoop a big load of dirt. It's really rocky. It's down at the same level as the creek that runs right by our house. The problem with that is there are a lot of fines, a lot of really fine sandy material mixed in with that river rock. I think now I'm just going to wrap the pipe in the filter fabric. I've waited too long. I should have got this done earlier in the summer. I'm going to go start the excavator, drive it down to the bottom. To drive that excavator, as you guys know, we have a final drive that is leaking. I need to put oil in the final drive. I guess let's do it. I will say this excavator runs, the engine of it runs so good. Fired up immediately. It's about 35 degrees outside. It's been sitting, it was really cold last night for a diesel. Just fire up like that at idle. Really good. Bump it up just a little bit. Let it try to warm up. It probably won't, but I'm gonna drive it out here, get it out in the open, and fill up the final drive. Down here at the bottom, we have this pile of fill that I dug out of this rock wall. After Homestead Rescue left, I came in here with the excavator and dug more rocks out of there, and in turn made this pile of fill. And like, I was discovering some really interesting layers of rock throughout this whole cut here. And at one point, it was almost straight river rock. And I piled all of that stuff over on like this side of the pile. I remember there was maybe like 4 or 5 scoops of good, like legitimate river rock. Way cleaner than everything else that I pulled out of here. So you can kind of see that there is still quite a bit of rock mixed in with the soil. I don't really know how great of quality it's going to be, but like I said earlier, I'm at this point. I'm going to probably have to redo it next summer. So we're just going to use this. I think it's going to work anyway. Pretty sure it's going to work anyway. It's just for how long will it work? Just loaded up the drain pipes. I found this filter fabric down here that I'd saved. So I think we're going to use that instead of cutting a piece off the fresh roll, because that stuff's still fine. Just a little bit of dirt on it, but this is what we're going to use for the drain pipe. It's like a 4-inch punched, you know, hard wall, triple wall. There we go. French drain. Got all the pipe and fabric laid out. Should work pretty good. I'll show you how we're going to button up this transition down here. One more stick to go. So what I'm going to do right here is get this pipe all the way down to the bottom. And let's see, we're going to wrap this over like this, and this fabric is covering the end of the black pipe here. And I'm hoping, you know, I'll wrap this fabric, cover the pipe the whole way. I'm hoping that doing this will keep a lot of the dirt from falling down in this little crack, since it's like very drastically different sized pipes. Goes from like a 10-inch to a 4-inch. So if we can keep dirt out of there, that's perfect. Pipe is wrapped in our, you know, it's like felt almost, heavy duty felt. It's a filter fabric. It's supposed to stop the dirt from getting into the pipe. So we have that all wrapped. I think it's time to start burying it, guys. Well, I guess right now the drain, and look at that, that's not bad. You can hardly see where it was. The drain is in its completed state for this winter. Man, I'm bummed that we didn't have any drain rock. And it seems like everybody, I guess 'tis the season, everybody was probably looking for drain rock right about the same time, you know, the last month or so. And I waited too long, but we made it work. I'm 98% sure, 98.7% sure that this is going to work. Pretty sure it's going to work. So hopefully, you know, in the next really, really bad rainstorm, once this dry well fills up to that pipe, we'll come and check this, you know, the outlet of that same French drain pipe, that 4-inch pipe, and hopefully there's water running out of it. I'm pretty sure there's going to be. We had a really good rainstorm the other day, guys, and there was water eventually coming out of this. We did have one little mishap where the water found its way to the wall before it made it to the drain that we installed. So I did have to go back there, do some shoveling and tamping, and I tried to, you know, collapse that little cavern that the water had carved. We finally got the water to, you know, drain to the drain. And once we did that, after maybe 2 hours of it raining really good, seemed like that, you know, big hole finally filled up enough to where it started to drain out of this culvert. And there was water running down this ditch the entire length. So it was working. It was totally working. I'm pretty sure putting a pipe in there like we just did is just going to, you know, make it work even better. So that's a wrap for this project. I do have a little bit more cleanup to do as far as getting some of these big boulders back up into place on this wall over here, you know, where I tunneled underneath with the culvert. But as far as the drain goes, that's a wrap. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.